calm down, perhaps.
Yeah.
Especially, well, they didn't take off, especially if you're up there way up in the air.
Exactly.
All right, Orthel now on the legal aspects.
Yeah, we're going to get more on this, bringing in our legal panel right now with the defense attorney, former prosecutor David Schwartz, and trial attorney Rachel Self. So, Rachel, I'll start with you. You know, what's the next step for the American Airlines? I mean, they issued an apology right away. Should the airlines consider changing policy and procedure, perhaps pay a payout to this passenger, that woman who was seen crying in the video?
I think absolutely something is definitely wrong here. I mean, air rage isn't okay on the part of the passenger. It's not okay on the part of the flight attendant. And after everything that we've been seeing the last few weeks, I'm ready to bring a bodyguard next time I get on a plane. Snakes on a plane is looking like Mary Poppins after what we've been seeing the last couple of weeks. And when people are crying, people are getting bloody noses, babies are being placed in danger, I think it is time to start to re-examine your policies.
David, so what about flight attendants unit? I mean, you just heard this. Brian Eunice reported the Association of Professional Flight Attendants defending their co-worker. Does the union need to update or refresh its policy and conduct handbook?
No. I don't know. Arthel, I don't know where the union has been up to this point. The union's job is to defend their members. That's what a union's job is to do. And to just rush to judgment, we didn't see the video of this incident. We don't know what happened. I do know that you don't bring a stroller onto the plane. Everyone puts their stroller right before you get onto the plane. The airline takes the stroller and then they give it back to you. So that right away tells me that something is very wrong here. And we can't generalize the behavior. These are very hardworking people. They work really hard, and for the most part, they do a great job. So we can't look at two incidents and say this is the norm.
Well, then, Rachel, we'll pick up there. What about the paying customers, those of us who fly? Do we need a reminder that the flight attendants are there mainly for the safety and orderly evacuation of passengers, should that be needed? You know, they go through rigorous training to qualify for the job. They're not just there to serve as drinks and snacks.
Right.
No, and I don't think that this is a situation where a passenger is being disrespectful. It wasn't the situation with Dr. Dow either. I think that what we really need to do is evaluate. And when you book your flight online, there's not an option box to get assaulted and get battered. You don't agree to that.
Right.
And so I think that everybody really needs to maybe take a breath. This gentleman in the video came across as very, very angry. He was alleged by witnesses that were there to himself be in a full rage. This particular flight attendant. And no, we didn't see the beginning of this altercation, but I think that we can all agree that an insurance, a president of an insurance company, Mr. Fierro, who felt compelled to stand up and defend this woman, well, he certainly knows something about risk and taking unnecessary risks. Being the president of an insurance company, I don't think he would have stood up if this wasn't an excessive situation.
Well, we don't know that, and just because he's a president of an insurance company is not dispositive of anything. We don't know if he was drinking or what his actions were. So that's why.
Oh gosh.
That's
why.
Wait.
Well.
That's why we have due process. There's a process, all right, and we have to do an investigation.
No.
We can't just jump to conclusions that where we're concluding that the flight attendant's wrong and the passenger's always right. That's just not the way it works out.
No, but I think that the video speaks for itself.
No, it doesn't.
Here.
I
and
didn't see anything.
The way that the flight attendant was yelling at everybody and saying back off and saying hit me, go on and hit me. That's not how a flight attendant typically acts.
That's very true, but we don't know what precipitated that, and we don't know the actions of that passenger. And
we know that a baby almost getting hit with a stroller precipitated it, because that's what made everybody concerned.
Rachel, this is what we heard. We just don't know that. We didn't speak to all the passengers. We didn't do the investigation.
4 passengers.
And this is the problem that there's always a rush to judgment. This is what happens with all the police cases, that there's one incident and all of a sudden the hundreds of thousands of cops all across this country are bad. It's the same thing with the flight attendants.
I think that we can agree, David. Yeah. I think we can agree, David, that this isn't one incident. I mean, air rage is on the rise. It's what all of these reports are saying, and we're seeing this everywhere. And the problem is that what we perhaps need to do is everybody needs to just take a breath.
I agree.
Everyone's stressed when they're traveling, especially apparently a single mother traveling with 2 babies.
Right.
And, I mean, everybody just needs to take a breath and not be yelling at everyone else. It doesn't work.
Rachel, I agree 100%, but that person could be wrong also. You don't bring a stroller onto the airplane. When did you ever see that?
Okay,
no
so
one does that. Right.
I have seen that.
I've never seen it.
Certain strollers that I've seen certain strollers that are folding strollers that go up into the upper compartments. And at that point, somebody maybe should have told her way up at the gangway not to go down there with it. You know, I mean, there's a lot of instances in which it is okay to bring a stroller on a plane. So that's not dispositive either.
So, David, we haven't seen the entire video. We only saw a snippet of it.
Right.
And that's what everybody's saying. Let's consider the entire incident, what led up to it, how it ended, et cetera, after what we saw. But from what we have seen, does it appear that there's legal recourse for this mother? And what about the discipline for this flight attendant? He's already been suspended. I mean, should there be more?
Okay, Arthel, there may be legal recourse, but based on what we've seen so far, I think the damages are minimal damages here. I haven't seen anything. So that's why there's a court, and that's why there's an administrative process, and that's why you have to go through that process. It seems like the airline was trying to do the right thing. They gave her a first-class seat, and they tried to accommodate her, but I didn't see anything on that video which would constitute damages in this case.
David Schwartz, Rachel Self. I'm sorry, Rachel. Oh, you said you agree? Okay, I heard you.
I did.
Okay, I didn't want to cut you off, but I got to go. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, you guys. Have a good day.
You too. Eric.
Well, Arthel, President Trump is speaking out tonight about politics, the budget, and his greatest surprise about being president. He says, quote, "I never realized how big it is. The orders are so massive. I really see the bigness of it all, but also the responsibility." He says everything you do in government involves heart, whereas in business, most things don't involve heart.